New York City, the greatest city in the world, brought to its knees by a virus on a dollar bill. Black Friday just hits different in Tom Clancy's The Division. What's good, everybody? SlapHandz here. Now, The Division dropped back in 2016, and people had a lot to say about this game. Some good, some not so great. So today, I'm giving it the grade it deserves. Welcome to the very first episode of the Gaming Report Card, where I break down a game across 5 categories: gameplay, story, lore, and drip. That's your visuals and sound, replay value, and the it factor. Each one gets a letter grade A through F, and at the end we're calculating the GPA. No fluff, no bias, just the real grades. So, did The Division make the honor roll, or is it getting held back? Let's find out. The moment-to-moment gameplay in The Division just feels right. It's a third-person tactical shooter with looter and RPG elements. Think Ghost Recon meets Diablo, set in a Manhattan that's trying to kill you. And just like other Ubisoft tactical shooters, this game heavily punishes you for running out in the open like you're invincible. You will die. Ask me how I know. Ubisoft has fumbled recently. I'm looking at you, Skull and Bones, but tactical shooters? That's their bread and butter, nearly 3 decades deep. And you can feel that experience here. The cover system is smooth, snapping from wall to wall, feels natural, flanking enemies is satisfying, and the abilities, you got damage, healing, support. They all bring something different to a fight and make every encounter feel like a puzzle. Now, is it perfect? Nah, not really. There's nothing quite like unloading 4 magazines into a guy wearing a hoodie and a backpack, and he's still standing there. The bullet sponge problem is real, and if you're coming from a more realistic shooter, that will bother you. But the core loop, cover, flank, ability, repeat, that's addicting. And when you're running from a squad, it clicks. So for gameplay, I'm giving The Division a B+. Solid gameplay loop, just cut it out with the bullet sponges, Ubisoft. Alright, let's talk story. And I gotta be real, when I first heard the premise of The Division, I was like, yo, this is actually dark. You play as a Division agent of the Strategic Homeland Division. These agents operate under Directive 51, a real presidential directive, by the way, that basically says that the government collapses, sleeper agents get activated to restore order by any means necessary. And what caused the collapse? The dollar flu, also known as green poison, a weaponized smallpox virus, spread through contaminated cash on Black Friday. And it possibly wiped out 80 to 90% of the population. And here's where The Division actually shines: the environmental storytelling. Walking through Manhattan, you see body bags stacked on sidewalks, Christmas lights still hanging while the city burns, quarantine zones that clearly failed. The world tells you what happened without saying a word. On top of that, the phone recordings, the echoes, the survival guides, these collectibles aren't throwaway. They fill in the human side of the story, regular people trying to survive, and some of those recordings, genuinely heartbreaking. But, and this is a big but, the main story, the actual campaign you're playing through, it's fine. You're chasing faction leaders, liberating safe houses, and the mission structure starts to feel like a checklist. The villain motivations are surface level at best. You've got cleaners, Rikers, LMB, they all look different, but narratively, they're just bad guys in your way. So, you've got this incredible premise, a pandemic wiping out civilization, government sleeper cells activating, and the world building delivers on that promise. But the main campaign doesn't carry the same weight. The lore is an A. The story you actually play, that's a different conversation. So for the story and lore, I'm giving The Division a B. Amazing story and lore. However, it doesn't hit the mark on that story that you're playing through. Alright, drip. And yes, we are literally talking about drip here, because one of my favorite things about The Division is that your character can actually look good. Puffer jackets, tactical vests, beanies, scarves. You're out here saving Manhattan, looking like a winter streetwear catalog, and I am here for it. Now, the character creator, that's a different story. You get maybe like 8 faces, a handful of hairstyles, and some scars. That's it. In 2016, we're already doing way more than this. You're telling me I can customize my knee pads but not my jawline? Come on. But where's this game's visuals really hit? The world. Walking through Midtown Manhattan in a blizzard, snow blowing through abandoned streets, trash everywhere, Christmas decorations still up while the city's falling apart. It's beautiful and haunting at the same time. And the enemy design, intimidating. You see cleaners rolling up with flamethrowers and hazmat suits. You feel that. The Rikers look unhinged. The LMB look like they could actually end you. Every faction has a distinct look, and when they show up, you know exactly who you're dealing with, and you remember them. The visual identity of the game sticks with you. I played this almost a decade ago, and I can still picture the Dark Zone entrance. That's how you know the art direction did its job. And we gotta talk sound, because the Division is sneaky good here. The gunfire echoing through the streets, the crunch of snow under your boots, that howling blizzard ambiance when you're in the open, it all makes Manhattan feel alive and dead at the same time. And in a firefight, the audio pops, you hear bullets pinging off cover, grenades bouncing, your squad calling out. It's chaotic, but it's clear. You always know what's happening around you.
Keep it tight, away from them! They dropped one of ours! Shoot to kill!
So the visuals, strong identity, unforgettable world, great enemy design, held back by bare bones character creator. The sound, quietly one of the best parts of this game. So for Drip, I'm giving the Division an A. Even if the character creator sucks, the environments and sound immerse you in a world gone mad with dollar flu. Nice job, Ubisoft. Okay, replay value. And I'm going to keep it real with y'all, this one's rough. Now, there are no bright spots with this one here. Unlike its more polished and handsome younger brother, The Division 2016 has no level 30 boost to get you going on in-game content. You'll be stuck grinding through hours of story and side missions to get you to end-game content. Having no skip is a massive drawback of this game, especially for someone like me, who over time has lost access to it on the console that I originally played it on, and now has to start over fresh on PC. And here's the problem though. Once you hit 30, what are you actually doing? You've got the Dark Zone, legendary missions, bounties, and Underground, and that's kind of it. And Underground is honestly the best of the bunch. Randomized dungeons, modifiers, solid loot. On paper, that's exactly what an endgame mode should be, but good luck matchmaking for it in 2026. You'll still be sitting in that queue longer than the actual mission takes. The Dark Zone, same deal. Cool concept, PvPvE, rogue agents, tension, but you walk in there and now it's a ghost town. Legendary missions are fun the first couple of times, but once you run them, you've run them. There's no real chase, no one more run feeling like you get from a Destiny raid or a Diablo season. For replay value, I'm deciding to give it a D. After this video, this is not a game I want to keep grinding through for endgame content, and I definitely do not want to start a new character over. Alright, the it factor. This is one that can't be measured. It's not about frames, it's not about mechanics, it's about that feeling. Does this game have something that sticks with you after you put the controller down? And for the Division, yes it does. The lore and atmosphere in this game are carrying. Forget the main story for a second, just the world they built. Walking through a New York City that's been completely gutted by a pandemic, the abandoned apartments, the body bags, the JTF struggling to hold it together, the echoes showing you what went down before you got there, all of that paints a picture that's more powerful than any scene. And then you layer on top of that the fantasy of being a Division agent, a sleeper agent who gets activated when everything falls apart. You're not a super soldier. You're not the chosen one. You're just someone who got a watch and got a go bag and was told, go fix this. And something about that is just cool, man. There's a weight to it. You're walking through a city that feels like it actually went through something, and you're the one trying to piece it back together. That's a vibe that very few games pull off, and the Division nails it. So even with the story stumbling, even with the endgame thinning out, the atmosphere, the lore, give this game a heartbeat that keeps it alive. That's the Division's it factor. You might put it down, but you don't forget what it feels like to walk those streets. For the it factor, I'm giving the Division an A. The game is just so good as a standalone, not taking into account the looter shooter grind. It is definitely worth the playthrough and experiencing the story as well as the environments and gameplay. Alright, let's pull up the full report card for Tom Clancy's The Division. So we got our 5 categories: gameplay, story, drip, replay value, and the it factor. Each one got a grade. Gameplay got a B+, story and lore got a B, drip and visuals got an A, replay value got a D, and the it factor got an A. 4 strong grades and 1 anchor dragging the whole thing down. That's the division in a nutshell. When you run the GPA, the division comes out to a 3.0, a B. And that feels right. This game that nails the things that are hard to get right, the world, the atmosphere, the gunplay. But in 2026, the replay value is on life support, and that keeps it from the honor roll. If you've got a squad and you want a game that feels like nothing else out there, then play the division. If you're solo and looking for something with legs, this might not be your move. That's the report card. B student, could have been valedictorian, but kept skipping class in the second semester. If you messed with this format, hit that subscribe button because we're doing this again. Next time, we're grading Marathon. Drop in the comments what you would have given the division. I want to see your report cards. SlapHandz out.